Hey, good morning. David Farmer here. It is Thursday the 9th, 11/26. Good morning to you. Today I want to talk about where there is opportunity in your CRM right now with the leads that you already have. I've been working with our dealers to really identify their overall closing percentage and where they're at versus where they can be. And what I'm finding out is for a lot of dealers, which you may already know, is that the closing percentages is not where it can be. And instead of trying to figure out how to get more leads that's going to fall into a broken system, why don't we see if we can't figure out how to fix the overall system? And to that end, what I want to do today is I want to share with you the Entice 360 solution and how we are generating leads, how these leads are coming into your dealership CRM, and a recommended best practice on how to follow up with customers that are engaging with these interactive lead funnels that are on our dealership websites. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and let me share my screen. And this is going to show one of our dealership websites. This is Scott Robinson, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This is our first CDJR dealership. And I have to say that I love the way that CDJR looks inside an Entice 360 website. I love the Jeep green that we're using for the primary color. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and log out of this site. Come back in. And so, as you probably already know, Entice 360, we're a company that's been around since 2011. The first 10 years of our lives as Entice was building lead generation technologies or widgets that go on a dealership website, only to find out years later that dealers don't need more widgets. What they need is a better website that has lead engagement funnels built right into the dealership website. So about 6 or 7 years ago, we started on the path that pivoted our company to being a full service website provider that includes all of our next gen lead generation technology. So let me show you how customers can interact with a Entice 360 website, generate leads, and then some recommended best practices on how to follow up with customers that are engaging with these lead funnels. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop over to a SRP. So right away, of course, we're looking at the dealership's inventory. I'm just going to come in here and let's go ahead and look at some Wranglers. So I do a quick search for a Wrangler. You can see, of course, we have the dealer price, the dealer discount, the rebates, the total internet price. And we have our CTAs built right into the SRP. I'm going to go ahead and click on that SRP image. It's going to bring me right to a VDP. And of course, again, we got the MSRP, we got the dealer discounts, we got the rebates, we got the overall pricing. And you can see here that we also include the Jeep conditional offers. So in this case, we have a $500 national military bonus, retail bonus, West BC bonus cash, and national first responders bonus cash. All of that is available right there. You can see also that we have a graphic that is pointing to this CTA right here. So of course, this is our primary CTA. This is where we're getting most of the leads. This is what we want the customer to convert with because we know the customers are price driven. And this is a way to get a lot of volume of leads. But when a customer generates a lead through this system, we want to make sure that we're following up with this customer about unlocking this best price. We want to make sure that we are communicating with the customer based on how they converted on our dealership website. That is what's going to create the separation between you and the competitors. So if that customer is shopping elsewhere, they're going to a different dealership, they're submitting leads, maybe they're going to a third-party site, they're submitting leads there. What is going to cut through the clutter and what's going to allow you to engage with the customer, get a response back, is to talk the customer's language. The customer's language is how they converted on your dealership website. So we want to go in the flow of the way that the customer engaged on the website is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so right here, we have our unlock best price, CTA, first name, last name, email address, phone number. In this case, we do have our two-factor authentication turned on. That means we can validate all of the leads coming into your CRM with a valid two-factor or a code that gets sent automatically to the consumer's mobile device through an SMS number. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out, and then I'm going to jump back down here. Now we also have another CTA, which this is something that we've just started, and we really love it. And this is a text me a link. So a customer clicks that right there. They supply their first name, last name, email address, phone number, and then we send a link to the dealership's to the customer's phone that shows the image of the vehicle really nice. And we also capture that lead. So when that lead comes in, it's somebody that is engaged with a text, and you can jump in and you can start texting that customer. And of course, we are getting the customer to agree to communicate via text. So CCPA, TCPA, all baked in. Now, this is really what I wanted to talk about here. So you can see right here, what do I got? I got deal maker, we got loan maker, we got express cash offer, and we got lead maker. So this is Entice 360. As you can see, it's represented on the dealership's website. And this is where customers can engage with these different tools. To give you a little bit more context on how a customer goes through this process, I'm going to go through it real quick. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Get Real Payments. So this is how I can, as a customer, engage on the dealership website. This is our digital retailing technology. And the first thing I want you to notice is everything is already filled out here. So first name, last name, email address, phone number, zip code. Why is that important? It's important because what we're doing with all of our Entice 360 solution is we're giving the customer different engagement pathways or funnels that the customer can go down. We know that they're going to visit the dealership website. We hope that they're going to get to a SRP. We hope that they're going to get to a VDP. And when they are ready to engage with with this particular vehicle, for example, they can come in here, they can say, I love this car. I click it, big, beautiful image of that vehicle. I can look through all of these images for this vehicle. I can also, if there's some integration for 360 spins or video content, we can open
Looking
that up
for the right vehicle?
right there as well. I can engage. I can open up the window sticker for that vehicle. That opens up right there. Other information, another thing that you'll notice too is as I'm scrolling up here, and as soon as my primary CTA disappears, you're going to see that it pops up right down here in our primary CTA. I love that little feature. That little thing right there introduced another 5 to 10% lead conversion that takes place just by keeping that primary CTA in front of a customer at all times. Now also, you can see here we have all of the highlighted features. You have all of the information around the powertrain, the mechanical information, safety, security. This is all individualized to that individual vehicle. But now, when I decide, hey, I love this vehicle, this is something I want to buy, now I can determine how I want to engage with the dealership. Now, what we've learned in automotive retail is that there are deal hot buttons. Now, I'm going to date myself a little bit. Let me put myself back into my shoes when I was selling cars back in the 90s, and we were trained, and the philosophy that I used was the Grant Cardone style of selling. And one of the things that they taught, that we taught when I was working for them, is that we know that that there are deal hot buttons, and we want to discover what those are. So we're going to ask questions, qualifying questions. We love to do that by moving the trade into the second step of the sales process, and we ask customer information about their vehicle. What are you driving now? Are you driving a Jeep now? What year, what make, what model? How long ago did you buy it? What's changed since you purchased that vehicle? If you could choose the most important difference between the vehicle you're driving right now and what you want to get for the vehicle next, what would that be? All of these things are going to discover what the customer's deal hot buttons are. For example, maybe they say, I love this vehicle. I've had it for the last 7 years or 3 years, but my payments are too high. So I'm looking at saving money. Great. Why are your payments too high if you don't mind me asking? Well, my payments are really high because I had really bad credit, or I have really bad credit, or the interest rate that I got 3 years ago is higher than I want. I want to see if I can lower that. So those are the things that we're going to discover when we're going through our discovery phase in the sales process. We're going to allow the customer to do the exact same thing when the customer does this on our dealership websites. So when a customer comes in, and if they are interested or have they have a concern or an interest in the value of their vehicle, maybe they think that they're upside down. Maybe they've already shopped someplace else and they found that they didn't get enough money for their trade. This actually brings me to another sales process training thing that we can talk about. And that is if a customer goes to a dealership and goes through the entire sales process, and at the end of the sales process, go through negotiation, the customer says, I just need to think about it, I'm not ready to make a buying decision right now. I'm going to go home, talk to my wife or whatever. And if during that time you don't dig in and really start to ask questions, what might end up happening is that customer says, no, the deal is fine, I'm super happy, yeah, this is all good, I just need to think about it. And instead of going home, what they do is they go down to the next dealership and say, hey, I was at your competitors and they only gave me X amount of money for my trade. I'm looking for more money for my trade. Those are the things that we try to discover. So the same thing could be happening when a customer is going to one dealership and then go shopping again and they end up on your dealership's website. When they're on your website, if there is an interest there, if there is a concern there, they might be wanting to find out what their vehicle is worth. Now, we give the customer 2 different ways to do that. We do it, they're both considered our trade maker technology or our express cash offer technology. You can see right here. Now, this is where we can give a customer a real offer in real time right through our express cash offer technology, modeled after the same thing that Carvana, CarMax, AutoNation, and these big giant used vehicle retailers do really well, you can do right on your dealership website. You can also see, since I've done this before on this particular dealership website, it's pulling in that information to make this process even faster and reduce the friction. But it allows me to go through kind of step by step as I'm going through the overall process. So for example, I have that information there. I can, as a customer, enter my VIN number, I can enter my plate number, or I can enter in year, make, model. We find a lot of customers know what their VIN is. They can just open up their app for their insurance, they copy, paste, put it in. Now they know that they're going to get a real offer for their vehicle, not just somebody's vehicle that's similar to it, which is all you can do with a year, make, model. So this is how the customer can walk through the process to get a real offer. Another thing I'm just going to mention real quick, you can notice here that I have the showroom mode on. So this is a dealership tool that you can use right on your dealership website and take customers through this process without generating a lead that goes to your CRM. But this is only available from a dealership standpoint and actually logging in and turning this on. But I just wanted to share that information really with you real quick because I can actually walk through this process and not be worried about generating a lead. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to go next. I'm going to rate my vehicle 1 to 4 stars. I think it's pretty awesome. If I can't decode it all the way down to the VIN, whatever I can't decode, I'm going to put here, like an entertainment system and a Chrome package. Let's say I just have a Chrome package, but I don't have 2 keys and remotes. Come here to the next step. I can actually upload images that's going to share with the dealership, or I can skip that if I want, and then boom, express cash offer. That's what we're willing to pay for the vehicle. And with our system, you have the ability to determine what that offer is based on our integration with Black Book and AutoCheck and our custom algorithms to come up with that value. I can come here. I can schedule an appointment day, appointment time. and then I can hit complete. Now, what's really cool about this is I can send this email. When I'm in showroom mode, I can send the quote to the customer's email, and I can choose to either send this into the CRM or not. I'm going to go ahead and hit not because we don't want to generate a lead. And now the customer has this redemption certificate, a check for the appraisal certificate, and if they would have uploaded images, they would have shown right there. And this gives all the information about it. So this is a great way to present figures. And if I had this tool and I was desking deals, I would be using this to present my trade figures. Using this, I can download it or print it right from here. But that's another conversation for another time. So we're talking about Express Cash Offer and how you can use this technology and all the rest of our channels in the dealership's website to engage customers, to generate more leads, but more importantly, when we generate leads, that we're looking to increase the closing percentage of those leads. So let me keep on going. Now, if I'm a customer and I'm looking to get a better experience, and I know that if I just show up at the dealership, that I'm gonna have to kind of go into the same queue, I'm gonna drive in, I'm gonna have people, come and greet me. I'd rather schedule my appointment. So I can do this right here. You can again see that all of my information right here is pre-filling out. This Express Test Drive video explains the VIP Express Test Drive process. We can make it better. Or now let's say that I'm a customer that my deal hot button is I want to get pre-qualified. Maybe I went to the last dealership and they said I couldn't get financing. I want to go to another dealership and see if they can help me. To do that, I'm going to go through our pre-qualify CTA, which is our loan maker technology. Boom, boom, right there. And if I can enter this information, we do a soft credit pull, then we allow the customer to complete a real credit application. All of that's explained in our explainer video. And then our real full digital retailing technology is where the customer can go through the entire process. I'll go ahead and start that process right now. You can see right here, I have that VIN number for my trade tool. So it goes from tool to tool to tool. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter trade. I'm going to rate my vehicle again. I could say that I don't have that, but I do have the Chrome package. Let's say that I owe, let's say 2018 Jeep, let's say I owe 19 grand for it. Now, I can also, if I didn't know what I owed, they can also click that big green button and look it up with a soft credit pull, which is a super accurate way to get a real offer or a real trade payoff. You can see now you can see all of the different Express Cash Offer offers. For 3 stars, I'm at 16.2. But now if I go into the store and I find out that my vehicle is kind of rough, I know that they might be only willing to give me 15.2 for that vehicle. Now we're going to get to the payment screen. So now if you know anything about me, about 25 years ago, I created a technology called ePencil. One of the key differentiators of ePencil was the way that we presented the offer to a customer with our 9-payment grid, either a 9-payment grid for retail payments, which we're looking at right here, or a 9-payment grid for lease payment offers, which we're showing right here. So this actually is built right into our system. So just like and actually we'll just take a minute and we'll talk about this. Let me see how much time. Yeah, I'm good. And for that, I'll just go ahead and take a quick sip of my coffee. The reason that we created DealMaker with our 9-payment grids, because we feel it is a great way to present figures to customers right in a digital retailing experience that's going to tie into the way that you're going to present figures to customers when they visit your dealership showroom. And if you're doing it right, you're training your salespeople on how to present figures using one of these worksheets. We actually have built right into our solution a 9-payment grid worksheet. And if you click this button right here, and when you're in showroom mode, it's going to open up a DealMaker report like you see right here. So this is and you can see right here that I've selected a lease payment at $426. But this right here is a complete worksheet that your dealership could be using to present figures. So for example, the way that we use to present figures is, hey, congratulations on selecting the vehicle that you want to own. All you need to do now is figure out how you want to pay for it. I have brought you some options. Based on the vehicle that you have selected and the current market value for your vehicle, we have prepared 9 purchase payments based on your credit score and your APR, and 9 lease payments based on 12,000 miles per year. All I need you to do is circle the payment that's going to work best for you and your budget. Give me your okay right here, and we'll get the vehicle ready for immediate delivery. So that kind of ideology is what we have built right into our deal maker solution. And there's other steps that a customer can go through. Of course, we can add in the taxes and fees. So this is penny perfect taxes and fees. I can look at all of the offers. I can see what's already applied. So these are going to be non-conditional offers. And if there's any conditional offers that I would qualify for, boom, I can add that right here, and it's going to add it to my deal, and it's going to recalculate based on that. So all the stackability rules, all the incentives, all of that built right into the system. Fun fact, everything that we have built in right here with all of the disclosures is also built right into our VDP. So all of this exact same information is going to show up on the VDP itself. And I can continue to go through this process here. I can complete a real credit application that'll integrate with Route 1 Dealer Tracker 700 credit. I can, if I'm doing this from home, I can schedule a test drive at the dealership, or I can even request that they bring that vehicle to me for a test drive or for delivery. And I can enter in my home address or my work address, and it'll automatically just show up right there. This right here is where I can schedule an appointment. So a customer self-schedules an appointment. Wouldn't that be great? They actually do it. They do it quite often because we're building value in the overall process. So I'm going to select Saturday at 1 p.m. because that's when everybody wants to come in, and I can customize my experience, what type of test drive I want to take, and what's most important to me. Again, deal hot buttons right there, and I can go ahead and hit complete. I'm going to send this to my email, but I'm not going to send it to the CRM. And then boom, there is my deal certificate, again with our 9-payment grid, all of the offers that I've applied to the deal, full deal disclosure, trade evaluation, trade appraisal certificate that looks like a check. It's a great way to present figures. I can print this off right here, and I can actually pull this up from the back end of our system as customers have gone through this. And I highly recommend that you do it. There's actually a link right to this redemption certificate URL that goes right into the ADF XML lead that integrates with your dealership's CRM. Okay, so now let's kind of back up here for a second. So what I said at the very beginning is what many dealerships are looking at right now is figuring out how they can get more leads. I would challenge you to look at your lead closing percentage and see if you can't do more with what you already have before you look at investing any more marketing dollars to drive more traffic to your dealership website. I should do the math on this, but for every percentage point that you can increase your closing percentage, you could probably save an equivalent amount of marketing budget. Moving from a 5.5% closing rate to a 6.5% closing rate to a 10% to a 12% to a 14%, you can definitely do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a little tool that we work with our dealers to make their follow-up that much more effective based on how a customer converted into a lead. To do that, again, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to provide one of our AI applets, is what we love to call, in our Launchpad. And then, for example, I'm going to go right here and actually, do I have? Yeah, Scott Robinson CDJ right here. So let's say I just went through a digital retailing tool and I went through my build your deal online. The first thing I'm going to do is I get the lead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the notes section of that ADF XML lead and see if there's a link to a redemption certificate, and I'm going to open it up so I can see exactly what the customer is seeing when they go through our lead gen technology. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up and I am going to make a phone call. Okay, and I'm going to generate a script. Now, this script is just basic information, but what we're talking about is how they converted to a lead on their dealership website. So I pick up the phone, I say, hey, Mr. Denver, this is David Farmer with Scott Robinson CDJR. Am I catching you at a good time? Hey, I saw that you are working on a deal structure through our online system. Were you able to save your progress? If not, no problem. I can pull it up and finalize it. Would sometime this afternoon or this evening be better? Great thought starters, but the most important thing is that we are engaging with how the customer engaged on your dealership website. Now, let's say, for example, I made the phone call, but the customer did not answer. So I'm ready. I have a voicemail ready to go. Hey, John, this is David Farmer with Scott Robinson CDJR. I saw that you started a building online. I'd love to help finalize it and make sure that you're getting every incentive possible. Please give me a call at 727-514-2097. So I leave that voicemail. Now what I want to do is I want to send this customer a text. Don't know what to do. Here it is right here. Hey, John, this is David at Scott Robinson CDJR. You started a deal online. You want me to help finalize your numbers? Perfect, right? And then if they don't respond to the SMS, here is a email. This is a great way to communicate that message. That includes why and how the customer converted online. Now, why is this important? Why this is important is that when that customer visits other dealership websites and they are converting to leads and the other salesperson is getting it. Many times dealerships are just using AI to respond. Those AI agents are not, in most cases, responsive to the type of lead that's coming in. So it's going to be a very generic response. It's not going to be tied into what the customer actually did. So how can you cut through the clutter and get that customer to actually respond? Talk about what they did when they were on the site. Talk the customer's language. The customer converted through the trade tool. Talk to them about the trade value. And you can even encourage or provide the customer some hope that you can even provide a better value once the used car manager has an opportunity to walk around the vehicle and give it a proper appraisal. A lot of great techniques that you can incorporate into the lead follow-up based on how the customer converted into a lead, and especially if you are using the latest lead gen technology. That's all I got for you today. I appreciate you hanging out with me a little bit on my live video. You're going to find this video and many others at entice.com.